What up, guys? GangstaPranksta here, bringing the weekly wrestling review for May 18. Welcome to the show. If you're new to the show, this is where we talk everything about professional wrestling, from news, reviews to predictions. We talk about it also. If you're a fan of professional wrestling, welcome to the show. I actually remembered my intro this time. That was pretty good. And that was off the top of my head. I'm like, what's my intro again? And I just, boom, right into it. So that's a good sign, hopefully. Anyway, so welcome to the show. On today's show, we got reviews for RAW, Smackdown, Impact, NXT, Ring of Honor. We're going to talk a little bit about Extreme Rules and a bunch of wrestling news. So let's jump right into it. This is the week that happened before Extreme Rules, pretty much. So, I haven't watched Extreme Rules yet. I'll just talk about the card a little bit, and that's it. I'm not going to do predictions since it happened like a week and a half ago. So, let's jump into Raw. Raw starts out with a dance-off between Jerry Lawler. Jerry Lawler was the host, but it was between Fandango and Chris Jericho. And first, I want to say two things. One, Fandango's attire was amazing. I loved his look. I just thought it was great, especially for that character. Only thing he was missing is like some Iron Sheik type shoes where it's like it curls at the top. That would go with that outfit. It'd be amazing. Two, Chris Jericho's dancer was really fucking cute. Like she just had like a natural beauty to her. You know, she didn't have a lot of makeup on. Maybe she did. Maybe I'm just stupid. But she just seemed like really fucking beautiful. I don't know. I just had to talk about her. She's really hot. Okay, so that was that. During the dance, or Fandango's dance, his dancer hurt her ankle, so they stopped it. Fandango ends up attacking Jericho, and turns out the dancer faked the injury, and then they dance, and yeah, all that stuff. Next, you got Ryback versus Zack Ryder, blah match. Ryback wins. Next, you got Tons of Funk versus Primetime Players, okay match. Primetime Players win. Next, you got Teddy Long comes out and says that at Extreme Rules, it'll be Jack Swagger and Alberto Del Rio in an I Quit match. Next, we got Kofi Kingston versus Damian Sandow, okay match. Kofi wins. Next, we got Mark Henry comes out, shows everyone how to win a strap match, and calls out Sheamus. And he comes out and beats up Mark Henry with the strap. Next, we got Antonio Cesaro versus Randy Orton. Pretty good match. Orton wins. Next, we got The Miz versus Heath Slater. Okay match. Miz wins. Next, we got Shield versus Hell No and John Cena in an elimination match. Good match. John Cena and Team Hell No end up winning by DQ after the Shield interfere and attack John Cena. Next, we got Biggie Langston versus Jack Swagger. Pretty good match. Swagger wins by countout. Next, we got Natalya versus AJ. This was just an alright match. And to end the show, we had Brock Lesnar and Triple H come out for a little face-to-face. Triple H pretty much had to goad, like trying to sucker Brock Lesnar in by calling him a punk-ass bitch and he's scared and all this stuff. Lesnar comes in, they brawl, and it ends with Triple H getting the upper hand and throwing Lesnar out of the cage. So, nice little setup to their feud. It seemed kind of rushed, though, from like, I don't know, you kind of think the feud would be dropped after WrestleMania, but they're continuing with it, so that was whatever. So that's it for the show. There's really nothing to talk about. Just pretty straightforward show building towards Extreme Rules, and yeah, nothing big. Nothing real big, except like usually I watch the shows muted. Like usually what I do is I watch matches, like I'll have Raw muted. I'll be watching the matches, and then I'll have like TNA in the background, and they'll be doing their promos, and then I kind of flip-flop, if you know what I'm saying. Like I'll have TNA going, listening to the promos while I'm watching Raw matches, like stuff like that. So I didn't really get to see. But after I learned about, you know, Raw and all the stuff that happened, and them talking about the WWE app, and they plug the fucking shit out of that app. So I wonder how many people actually downloaded after that show, and how many times they fucking like just talked about it and promoted it and stuff. Hey, you can. Wade Barrett had this to say, but you can only find out on the WWE app. Go get it. So that was Raw. Like I said, nothing big to talk about. Next we got NXT. It starts out with Summer Rae versus Natalya. This is a pretty good match. Summer Rae wins. Next, they did an interview with Sami Zayn, aka El Generico. He said he's gonna debut next week. I'm super excited to watch him wrestle. It seemed like he was kind of uncomfortable without his mask. He did a little backstage promo with the interviewer or whatever, and it seemed like just a really awkward interview. Like he wasn't comfortable. That's the perception I got, and yeah, that was that. It just seemed kind of awkward. So we'll have to see how he does wrestle without a mask. But I'm pretty excited. And pretty excited that they actually gave him some build-up. Like, oh, you know, Sami Zayn? Yeah, Sami Zayn. You know, he's coming. He's a seasoned veteran in wrestling. You know, he's going to come, make an impact in NXT. Watch out for that guy. So that was kind of cool. Can't wait to see his debut next week. Next, we got Conor O'Brien. No, we got Bray Wyatt versus Danny Burch. Okay match. Bray wins. Next, we got Conor O'Brien versus Sakamoto and Briley Pierce. This is okay. O'Brien wins. After the match, some guy appears on stage, and there's been some rumors that they're going to be having a new partner for Conor O'Brien to bring back the Ascension. You know, since Keith Cameron, I think it's Keith Cameron, I don't remember his name, something Cameron, he fucked up by getting a DUI and getting fired, so ruined the whole Ascension thing. I don't know who his new partner's name is, but you know, he just came out with the whole black trench coat thing, just stare down Conor O'Brien, so I'm glad they can still do stuff with the Ascension gimmick, so we'll see if he's a good tag team partner for Conor O'Brien. But I was liking Conor O'Brien as a singles wrestler. He was doing pretty good. But you know, I want to see the tag team. I do. We'll have to wait and see more on that. And the main event was Biggie Langston versus Damien Sandow for the NXT title. Pretty good match. Biggie wins and retains his title. Next we got Impact. It starts out with Hogan comes out and announces a bunch of stuff for tonight and Slammiversary. Hogan then comes out and asks Abyss to come out, but Joseph Park comes out instead. Park says he's so happy his brother's back. Devon and D'Lo come out and say they want Abyss's ass. Park and Devon get into it, and Hogan makes a match between Park and D'Lo Brown. Next we got Bobby Roode versus Chavo Guerrero. Pretty good match. Roode wins by DQ after Storm spits beer in his face. We'll talk more about Storm in a second. Next we got Kurt Angle comes out, calls out AJ Styles. Mr. Anderson comes out, gets into it with Angle. AJ comes out, nails Angle with an enziguri, so they're making it seem like AJ is finally going to join Aces and Eights. I don't think he's going to join any of the two groups. I just think he's going to, stay by himself and just, watch his back and just be by himself, though. So that's that. Next we got Jay Bradley versus Chris New York. Pretty good match. Bradley wins. I think they're doing like a gut check because they're doing the BFG series again for a shot at the world title, and I think they're giving all the gut check participants chances by facing each other in matches. So we had Chris New York versus Jay Bradley. Good match, pretty good match. Bradley wins with the boomstick, so that was cool. I wish they would use him more. Like, just all the fucking people they got from gut check. What the one person they use is Chris New York. Like, you got so many people. I understand they're training in OVW, but some of them are like wrestlers that can go right now. Some of them don't need to be trained. Like a guy like Alex Silva, sure, go to OVW, get some promo skills, whatever. A guy like Jay Bradley, he's been wrestling for a while. He's a pretty seasoned veteran. Why not have him on the main roster? I think you'd make a solid heel. And, if they ever got rid of Devon and the TV title, I think he'd be a great person to kind of revolve that division around. So, I don't know, whatever. Next, you got Velvet Sky versus Gail Kim. Pretty good match. Velvet wins. After the match, Gale attacks Velvet's leg. Next, we got Kenny King versus Petey Williams versus Chris Sabin, X Division title match. Pretty good match. Kenny wins. Fun little X Division match. I would have liked to see Kenny King and Chris Sabin one-on-one. Nothing against Petey. I would have liked to see Chris Sabin versus Kenny King, but it's whatever. Next, you got Christopher Daniels versus Hernandez. Pretty good match. Hernandez wins. After the match, Storm comes out and says that it'll be a four-way for the tag team titles at Slammiversary. So it's going to be Bad Influence taking on Chavo and Hernandez, taking on Rude and Aries, taking on James Storm and a partner of his. There's a lot of rumors going around that it's Chris Harris, and that'd be awesome because it seems like they're bringing back a lot of people from the old TNA. You know, you got AJ kind of coming back, Abyss coming back, Chris Sabin, Petey. Who's the other person that came back? I don't know. Someone who I think it is. I think it's either going to be Chris Harris, which would be awesome, or Jeff Jarrett. I think, you know, him and Storm, they kind of have, you know, some similar little gimmick, and I think it could be Jeff Jarrett. It really could. We'll just have to wait and see. I think he said he was going to announce it next week, so I'll wait for that. But if it's Chris Harris, I hope they keep it a surprise until Slammiversary. Next, we got Joseph Park versus D'Lo Brown. It was an okay match. Park wins. And to end the show, Bully Ray comes out, calls out Sting and Hogan for the contract signing. Anyways, it ends with the match ends up being a no-holds-barred match. And if Sting loses, he never gets a world title match. So, could Sting's career be coming to an end? Hopefully. Nothing against the guy. I don't know. I don't have any interest in seeing Sting on TNA anymore. That's me. Next, we got Smackdown. It starts out with Miz TV. His guests are Randy Orton, but that soon changed because you had fucking Coulter and Swagger come out. Del Rio and Ricardo Rodriguez. Mark Henry. Sheamus. It just fucking became a huge clusterfuck, and it ends up turning into a huge brawl. And it ends up being a six-man tag for later in the night. Next, we got the Shield versus the Usos. Okay match. Shield wins. Next, we got Tons of Funk versus Primetime Players. Pretty good match. Tons of Funk win. Next, we got Chris Jericho versus Antonio Cesaro. Pretty good match. Jericho wins. Next, we got Miz versus Damien Sandow. Okay match. Miz wins. Next, we got Caitlyn versus Oksana. No, was it Caitlyn? I think it was. I don't know. I don't even remember. I think it was Natalya. Maybe I wrote it wrong. I was like half asleep when I watched SmackDown. I think it was Natalya or Caitlyn versus Oksana, whatever. Okay match. Caitlyn wins. In the main event, Del Rio, Orton, and Sheamus taking on Henry, Swagger, and Big Show. Good match. Orton, Del Rio, and Sheamus win. And yeah. Next we got Ring of Honor. We're not going to talk about Ring of Honor too much because they just showed replays of Border Wars and some of the matches that happened there. So that was that. So next we are going to talk a little bit about Extreme Rules. So Extreme Rules, it already happened. I didn't watch it yet. I don't know any of the results. The only thing I know about next week is that Curtis Axel, Michael McGillicuddy, Joe Henning, whatever the fuck you want to call him, he's had a fucking terrible, like a history of just terrible names. Like Curtis Axel, really? I mean, I know it's a play for, you know, his father and his grandfather, Kurt Hennig, and then I forgot his grandfather's name, but it was something the Axe Hennig. So that's cool. That, you know, kind of involves that, but just call him Joe Hennig. Like, holy shit, why is that so hard? But enough about, you know, Curtis Axel, Joe Hennig, Michael McGillicuddy. We'll talk about that more next week. That's the only thing that I know happens next week. That's it. So on Extreme Rules, it's a solid card. There's some good matches on it. You know, I was really looking forward to the ladder match with Ziggler. That's kind of out the window now because he has a concussion. I think John Cena, you know, he's not in top shape. CM Punk, I think, was supposed to be here. I don't know. A lot of people are injured. Who else was injured? I think there was another person injured. I'm not sure. Whatever. It's a pretty good card from what they originally had planned. Like, you know, with Ziggler and all those people getting hurt, they still managed to have a pretty good card. So we got Fandango versus Chris Jericho. That should be a pretty good match. They had a pretty good match at WrestleMania. I'm excited to watch that. I'll go with Fandango on that one because I think Chris Jericho is going to start wrestling a lighter schedule and just to be there part-time. So let Fandango win. Let him kind of build some momentum for his next feud. So it'll probably be Fandango. Next we got Randy Orton versus Big Show. I don't really care about this match whatsoever. Just this feud is carrying on and boring, and yeah, I don't care. I'll go with Randy Orton though. Next, Sheamus versus Mark Henry. I really don't care about this either. This feud was just kind of random. Like, you had Sheamus doing a backstage interview. Mark Henry attacks him. Bam, that's how it starts. So just out of the blue, not necessary, just whatever. Next, we got Triple H versus Brock Lesnar in a steel cage match. Apparently, this won't be like their final steel cage match, and they got another one planned for like SummerSlam or something. I don't know. It's just, I don't know where they want to take this feud. So, I know that Curtis Axel, and he takes out Triple H, I believe, on that Raw that he makes his return / debut. So I'm gonna go with Triple H on this one, and then it'll probably morph into Curtis Axel and Triple H somehow. So I'm gonna go with Triple H on that one. Next, we got the Shield versus Kane and Daniel Bryan. So it's gonna be the Shield is all in action. We got Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins in the tag team title match, and they'll be taking on Team Hell No. Probably gonna go with the Shield on this one. They haven't lost yet, so I don't see why they would lose here. And they've had a long feud with Team Hell No, so it's only right that they finally beat them. So I'll go with the Shield. Next, you got Dean Ambrose versus Kofi Kingston for the U.S. title. This feud is just kind of random. Like, to me, it just felt like it came out of nowhere. And, yeah, I don't know. Well, if they want to keep the Shield undefeated, Dean Ambrose has to win. But I think Kofi's going to keep it. I don't know. I don't know. It just happened so randomly. Like, I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't matter to me. Probably gonna go with Ambrose on this one, but it's just random him having the U.S. title. Like, it's just so fucking random. Anyways, next we got a I Quit match. #1 contender for the world title. Not Dolph Ziggler. Alberto Del Rio taking on Jack Swagger. I'm going to go with Del Rio on this one. There's probably some heat on Jack Swagger. You know, first the whole pot thing leading up to WrestleMania. And then you injure the world champion. So it's not looking too good for Jack Swagger. I'm going to go with Del Rio. He's going to make Jack Swagger quit. In the main event, last man standing match for the WWE title, Ryback versus John Cena. You know, I haven't really liked Ryback's heel turn, like, whatsoever. Like, sometimes he acts like a bitch. Sometimes he acts like he's too cool for school and shit like that. And it just seems like he can't make up his mind as a heel. And it's just really annoying. Like, are you a coward? Are you, like, what are you? I don't even think he knows.
We're in the feeling out process here. Who's going to get the advantage and maintain control? What a nasty elbow.
So yeah, I'm not, like, I don't know, the whole Ryback turning heel thing, I think it's been terrible so far. That's just my opinion, though. So, anyways, Ryback versus Cena. I'm probably going to go with Ryback since Cena's injured. He'll probably exploit the injury and become the new WWE champion. So, yeah, that's that. Next, we got some wrestling news. Actually, some pretty big wrestling news. So first, 2K14, WWE 2K14, the next wrestling game, has been announced a release date. It's supposed to come out October 19th, or 29th, I apologize. It's going to be coming out for the Xbox 360, PS3, and it will have The Rock on the cover. That's all that's known about the game. I know they recently had a little. I know they had a bunch of guys from YouTube come in and just come and play it and stuff like that, and they said it was really good. I don't know what to believe. They probably, if I got flown out to fucking play WWE 14 and fucking all this shit, put in a hotel and stuff, I'd probably say, yeah, it's pretty fucking good as well. So I don't know if they're just saying that or if it's actually really good. We'll have to wait and see. But pretty much nothing's been revealed about this game. No roster, nothing. So it's just all we have is a release date. Also, maybe getting a video game soon. TNA. According to the Wrestling Observer, a rumor coming out of TNA is that the company is close to signing a new video game deal. Now, I think that's really cool because I really like TNA and the roster, and I would love to play as people on their fucking roster. So I'm excited about that. That should be awesome. I don't know, just like who's gonna do it though? Like, that's my one issue. Like, who the fuck is gonna develop this game? I hope it's a good developer. I want a good TNA game, but I don't know. Like, I was really hopeful for the other one, but it ended up being just a total piece of shit. I actually plan on doing a Let's Play for it for my channel. I haven't started yet, I believe, uploading it, so look for that soon. But, I don't know. It could be it could be good, but you always gotta look. It just depends on who develops it, and you can just see, like, oh, if it's, thank God it's not THQ anymore. I don't know a shitty developer, but I don't know. I know developers that don't make as great games, so we'll just have to wait and see or announce something that whoever is going to make it. So we'll have to wait. Next we got, what do we want to talk about next? Saturday Morning Slam. Last week we talked about how it might be canceled. Ends up that they returning for a second season. So for all you people who watch Saturday Morning Slam, you can keep watching it. What else we got? Next. Something I want to talk about. A Spike TV executive said that Austin Aries will be disciplined following the incident with him and Christy Hemme on whatever. And he said it was described as sexual harassment, and they're taking it very seriously. So I don't know what the fuck they fucking have planned for Austin Aries. Hopefully they don't fire him, because that would be fucking awful for TNA. Austin Aries is probably one of the greatest things you have in the company. Do not fucking ruin it just because he fucking went full heel mode. Now, I understand it was very disrespectful to Chrissy Hemme. I completely understand that. But from an entertainment perspective, that was fucking money. That was money. That was a great, the way he handled that situation was just fucking great. So, yeah, hopefully it's nothing they said it's serious, but I don't know, hopefully it's just like a big fine or something. Not that he makes that much money with TNA anyways, but hopefully it's just a fine. And yeah, we'll have to wait and see what they have planned. Speaking of TNA, so this isn't really wrestling news, this is just a little topic I want to discuss with you guys. So Dixie Carter recently had an interview with the Sun, the UK Sun, and she said that Magnus is one of the people that she sees as the future of TNA. Now, that angered a lot of people in the IWC, the Internet Wrestling community, because, they hate Magnus. When they think of Magnus, they think of when he started and how awful he was. And he has turned into a better performer. His promos are good. He's better in the ring and shit like that. But is he the future of TNA? And that's what I want to open up for discussion in the comments. Do you think Magnus is the future of TNA? And if not, who do you think is the future? Do you think it's someone that's going to come from Gut Check? Do you think it's someone they have on the roster already? Maybe a Christian York, a Jay Bradley, maybe Austin Aries. I think Austin Aries is probably the future of TNA. He's the past, present, and future of TNA. That's what he is. Who else do we got on the roster? Maybe Wes Briscoe and Garrett Bischoff to a certain extent. Just the fact that they're young guys and, they still have plenty of time to, evolve into something amazing. So, let me know in the Gunner, I think, is another one that could be a good talent, a good heel for the company, but they just don't seem to know how to use him. Like, 1 minute he's got an important role, the next minute you never see him for like 6 months. So I think Gunner Crimson, he's another one. I think he could be a heel or a face, but yeah, those are just a couple people that came to my head. Leave your who you think could be the future of TNA in the comment section. So let's discuss a little bit. What else do we got? Next, we got The Rock. He's a pretty big movie star out there, making big movies. And I don't know how he found out. I think it was Kevin Feige. I don't know how to pronounce his name. The Marvel president. I think he talked about The Rock and said, he would be great for one of our movies or whatever. And then The Rock was like, "Oh yeah, I'd love to be in a fucking Marvel movie." And the rumor going around is that he would play Luke Cage, and The Rock as Luke Cage. I think that would be fucking great. I would love to see a fucking Luke Cage movie. Well, not a Luke Cage movie, but probably like a Heroes for Hire, like Iron Fist and Luke Cage in a movie. I think that'd be great. And then somehow involve it with the Avengers. That'd be fucking awesome. That really would. And then he posted a little picture on Twitter, and it was a pretty good little side-by-side shot. He looks almost exactly, I don't want to say almost exactly, but he looks pretty accurate. He could pull Luke Cage off, is what I'm trying to say. So, yeah, I'm excited for that. If he does end up playing Luke Cage. If not, well, we can only hope for. And last but not least, probably the biggest news of the week was NXT, WWE's developmental system, has released a bunch of talents. They haven't released talents in a while. Usually after WrestleMania, they release a couple people, but they haven't done that. They ended up doing this with NXT since I think they plan on moving NXT to some place in Orlando or something like that. They're moving the whole facility, and they ended up releasing a couple people. So we'll just go through the names. So first, Derek Bateman. Bateman, I thought he had some potential to be like a little comedy character and maybe be a squash guy or something like that. Maybe eventually build him up as a mid-card guy or something like that. But I love some of his segments that he had with Daniel Bryan in Season 4 of NXT. I just thought they were hilarious. And yeah, that was that. But other than that, he was pretty expendable. Next was Percy Watson. He always had the look of like, oh, he had a good look, but I don't know, he just acted too goofy. He was like Urkel in fucking who's a big buff guy? He was like Urkel in Arnold Schwarzenegger's body. Like, that's what my perception of Percy Watson was. And I don't know, they just tried a lot of different things with him. Nothing caught on, so they ended up releasing him. Not a big deal. Next you had Sakamoto. Pretty much after his whole thing with Tenzai, pretty much just faded away. So it would have been cool to have like a Japanese type wrestler on WWE, but whatever. I guess they didn't see anything in Sakamoto. Next is Briley Pierce, which is Dolph Ziggler's brother. I didn't get to see too much of him. Just whenever he appeared on NXT, he seemed like a carbon copy of Ziggler, like from his mannerisms to the stuff he did in the ring. He definitely looks up to his brother, so You know, they probably, I don't know why they wouldn't want two of them because, you know, look at Dolph Ziggler, he's fucking money right now. Why wouldn't you want like his brother? Maybe do a little thing with him. I don't know. So yeah, that was, I don't know if it's a big loss, but it could have been some potential. Next we got Audrey Marie. Her name sounds familiar. I just don't know who she is. In NXT, all the divas are pretty much the same to me. If you're not Paige, all the other ones just look the same. You know, either blonde or fucking brunettes. Yeah, Paige is the only one with a unique look that, like, oh, okay, that's Paige, and then that's NXT Diva number 3. You know, I don't know their names, so I know she did appear on NXT a bunch, and yeah, I don't know. I don't really know who it is. Is it the blonde? Is it the? No, that's Emma. Okay, never mind. Then I don't know her. And the last two are Brandon Traven and Diva Anya. And those last two, I have no idea who the fuck they are. I don't think they were ever appeared on NXT, so not a big loss, just whatever. So yeah, those are all the people that were released from developments, and yeah, so that's it for the weekly wrestling review. Nothing else really to talk about. We covered everything. Come back next week where we got reviews for Extreme Rules, Raw, SmackDown, Impact, NXT, Ring of Honor, bunch of wrestling news, and I think that's about it. So, hope you guys enjoyed the show. Come back next time where we got all that stuff, and that's about it. So, I want to thank you guys for watching. Catch us next time. Till then, guys, peace.